Well, I decided to buy the Audible of Red Handed by Schweitzer, and it was a good purchase. There is a lot of information in this book about what is going on in our current administration and their connection to China. I knew a lot of this without the extreme detail that is in this book. I would severely, strongly suggest either buying the Audible of this book, or buying the book, or buying the ebook and reading it. It is well worth the information. Plus, it is just not the administration of the presidency, but also a lot of the people that are in the Congress, the Senate, and other political positions, and a few people that are in big business that are directly tied to the CCP. And this book lays out a lot of that information. Now, I have not finished reading it yet, or rather listening to it. Being that I'm visually impaired, and I am a big reader, or I was my entire life, I've probably read 4,000 books in my life or more. I find it very difficult to deal with the fact that, my visual impairment does not allow me to read books like I used to. However, I have gotten around that by using ebook reader, FB Reader. The pay version of it is only $2 forever. It's just a one-time thing. And it has a read to me part of the app, so you can actually take your book, your ebook, put it in there, hit the read to me button, and it'll read to you, and wherever you leave off, you'll come back directly to that same spot, and you can either read it by looking at it, or read it and have it read to you. Awesome app. I'm very happy with that app. I've used it for years, but originally I had the plugins for the TTS, and they went to pay for that only, so I had to purchase it. But it was only a couple dollars. I think it was $3 total or something like that. And it's well worth it. Also, there's Z Library. It's a lending library. People put their books up on the cloud in there, or other cloud sources. And you can download books to put into your free e-reader, or your mildly pay e-reader, depending upon whether you need it read to you or not. I find it nice, even when I didn't have vision issues, to be able to turn it on while I was cleaning house or something, or busy driving down the road or whatever, and have the book read to me. And then I could go back to reading it, later on, visually. Now I can't do that as well, so but I'm still very happy with the app. In any case, this particular book has a lot of information in it about the connections of our Pretender-in-Chief and his son, and what they are doing business-wise, and his brother and what they're doing business-wise, and then the Speaker of the House and how she's connected, and Newsom and some of the other people in California, and just a lot of connections to the CCP. And on finding, upon reading this, I also found out that the CCP, or affiliates thereof, are buying up farmland like crazy in America right now. Now, I have an issue with this. I really do. I mean, my issue is, first of all, I consider a communist country kind of an enemy country. Okay? Why are people from an enemy country allowed to buy property in our country? That should never, ever be allowed. Especially not our farmland. And especially not in mass amounts. Thousands and thousands of acres in Texas, California, in the Southwest, in the Midwest, are being purchased by CCP-affiliated people. First of all, why? What is their agenda? And second of all, why is it allowed? I mean, this was even being allowed under the Trump administration and previous administrations. I don't understand why we have to allow people from other countries in general to buy American land. I think American land should be owned by American people. And they should buy land in their own country. If they want farmland, they buy their own farmland from their own land of their own country. And buying farmland in our country should be illegal. I mean, I just have an issue with that. Why can someone who is part of the CCP own more property than most American citizens own? That just does not, in America, that just does not make sense to me. I understand, like, if you want to own a little place down in South America somewhere for a vacation home, or you want to own a little place in England or Scotland as a vacation home, or if you're extremely wealthy and you want to have 2 or 3 houses someplace. I don't even have a problem with people who are affiliated with the CCP owning a home in the U.S. That is borderline. I mean, but you can do that around the world. As an American, you can do that around the world as a person from any country. Excuse me. But to own farmland, to own factories and businesses that are American property, that should not be allowed. So there's really some really crazy and skeezy stuff going on. And this book kind of lays a lot of it out. Now, I haven't listened to the whole book yet. I haven't read the whole book yet. I'm still in the process. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. And I'm already appalled and woken up to a lot of things that I did not know existed, and put me in a very poor mind frame toward regulations that are not being used to keep foreign adversaries out of the country. Now, I have to say, though, there was a plan to put a cable system for internet across the ocean to Hong Kong a few years back, and that was stopped. They were afraid that it would be hackable, which makes sense. But, we've got satellite systems up there. Elon Musk, for instance, is putting a whole satellite internet system up. And all it would take would be one little blast here or one little blast there to completely shut our internet down. Or totally screw up the satellite GPS system. That's bad enough. Why do we have to have agents of another country in our country owning huge, large amounts of property and doing payola with our politicians and our business owners? What part of ignorant is this? I mean, seriously, dangerously ignorant. I don't understand how people have been getting away with this. Except that we have all been sleeping and no one stood up to say anything about it because we've been asleep. But we are not asleep anymore. And it is time to pay attention. It is time to put a foot down. It is time to make sure that American land is owned by American people and corporations. And that American politicians are not taking money and giving favors to communists. I mean, it's insane. These people think that they can just do whatever the heck they want to do, and they've been getting away with doing it, and no one has been stopping them. No one's been saying, whoa, wait a minute here, that's not cool. You can't do that. I mean, they literally have been getting away with this for decades. Doing business with communist countries that have concentration camps, that have horrible policies, that steal our intellectual property, that undercut prices, that destroy our economy, that basically come in, buy out, and steal our land. And these people are allowing lobbyists for these people exist in our country. Lobbyists that are on the side of the CCP are in our country and are allowed to work with our politicians. Now, I have a problem with lobbyists in the first place. I don't think that lobbyists should be allowed to be. I don't think they should exist. I think that it should be handled in a completely different manner. But we as a people, when Americans have been asleep at the wheel We are not taught in school about politics. We are not taught in school about how things work. And policies and regulations have been written by corrupt people for decades. And so it's just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. And we're in a position right now where we are in trouble. Our country is in serious, serious trouble. It's not just stolen elections and bad policies and CRT and all these other things. We are in political trouble with people who are on the take. We are in trouble with financial systems that are put in place just to downplay our country and to destroy it. We are in serious, serious trouble. And everybody needs to be paying attention, and there's so many people that are not even aware. I mean, they're not even aware. And when you go to speak to a lot of them, they're like, oh, I don't care, or I'm not into politics. Well, that's the problem. You don't care and you're not into politics, but you want things in this world to work better. You don't get them to work better by ignoring the reasons why they're happening. We've been lied to by our news media for decades. It is not just a current recent thing. It didn't start in 2015. This has been going on for a very long time, probably as long as I have been alive, for the last 50 years at least, if not longer. Heck, in 1973, I think it was, there was a congressional hearing about Operation Mockingbird propaganda throughout our schools, our newspapers, and our news sources. And it didn't go away. It's escalated. It was a Cold War agenda. But the Cold War, I think, was won by the enemy, by the communists. Because we are living in a world of a communist agenda. And it's just hidden under this facade. It is deep, entrenched in our government. It is hideous and ugly. It is fear-based. It is controlling and tyrannical. And it all is involved in our government. And it's sickening. And hardly anyone's aware of it. And it's time to wake up, people. Read this book. Seriously. It's well worth the cost. Go out there, go to Audible, go to Amazon, go to wherever you buy books, buy it in paper, buy it in ebook, buy it in Audible format, ebook, audiobook format. Just buy the book. Read the book. Listen to the book if you don't like reading. But seriously, we need to do something. We need to make everybody aware of what's going on. There needs to be outrage and anger over this. All across the board. Whatever political party you're in. This cannot be done to our country. And it's being done to other countries too. People are waking up all across the world. Look at Canada right now with the truckers. Look at Australia. Look at England. Look at France. All these countries standing up. We all need to be awake, and we all need to be on the same page. We've got to stop the tyrannical governments. We've got to stop the horrible communist agenda, the New World Order globalists. It is not healthy for anybody. It is not good for any country. It is not good for any people. It is only good for money-hungry, fear-mongering pieces of crap who only care about themselves and what they can get out of it. So, my suggestion, get this book. It's well worth the read. Alright, y'all. Come follow me, Patriot Poet 1776 on Getter and Rumble. Like, subscribe, and share. And, hopefully I'll, get some comments below. Alright. Have a good one. Bye-bye.